Hi, Jeremy the Tall Trainer here, and welcome to your socially distanced massage. All right, so this is sort of for fun, the title, but it actually is pretty good work. And so watch out. Woo! All right, so we don't have to take off any articles of clothing. There is no stranger touching us, and for a lot of people, that's a hindrance to getting a massage. So all you need for this one is you need a chair with a hard surface for one of the stretches there, one of the massage techniques. All right, so a chair or like a bench or something like that with a hard surface so you can work after a muscle there, and then a tennis ball. I got this little pink ball, so hopefully you can see it pretty well. Just a regular tennis ball will do for the work that we're doing. All right, so this is going to be like a half-hour massage, that we're going to do to ourselves. And considering that massages, and even people will pay from $60, $100, for something like this, there is a decent value. So it is kind of silly, a socially distanced massage, but this will actually be decent work for you as well. And so if you can get yourself to do it, once a week even, your body is going to thank you for it, especially if you're one of those people that is tight, has a lot of tension in your body. This will help out a ton. It does not provide all the benefits of a massage, but it will provide some of them. All right. So first one, we're going to do the neck. So we're going to lay down on the ground here. All right. So we're going to do the neck on the ball. So be very careful on the neck. It's a fragile spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ball, I'm going to place it under the back of the neck there and just relax on there. So you don't have to put too much pressure on there. So if you need to hold your head up with the hands, right now I'm kind of actually setting my head on the ground and the ball's only touching my neck just a little bit. But I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on that. I'm aiming for the muscle off to the side of the neck and up towards the back of the head, the little, the occipital, part of the cranium there. Too big of words. But, so right where that muscle goes into the back of the head, where we got that knob on the back of the head. And so we're going to just dig in there a little bit. Really pausing in there can be kind of helpful. So when you find a spot that you feel like you got that muscle that's running down the side, up to the back of the head, pause on that a little bit. I'm going to move the ball a little bit to get a little bit lower on there, turn the head to the side. All right, now we're going to try the other side here. All right, I'm not sure you can see it all from this side, but maybe I'll spin a little bit and maybe you can see it from there. All right, but I'm going to place it right underneath, so that back of the head right there, just underneath there, and relaxing in there. We're not trying to go for killer pressure on any of these things, all right? But our bodies can handle some decent work there, all right? So I'm going to try to get down the side just a little bit, so I'm turning my head a little bit to get over there. I'm going to move the ball a little bit to get more in the middle of the neck. I feel some tension in that spot for me. And these muscles do radiate around. So when I put pressure here, sometimes I can feel even pressure coming up the top and the sides of my head as I'm working on some of these. So if you've got tension headaches, these neck muscles can be a pretty big deal for that. All right, I'm going to go for a little bit lower. Oh, yeah, out of time on that one. All right, so got two sides of the neck a little bit there. Now we're going to do up on the neck a little bit more. We're going to do, it's called the traps right here. We're going to do that with the hands. Make like a little hook with the hand, opposite hand, reaching up, and we're going to be pushing on that muscle right in here. So you can't quite get to this one very well with the ball just because it's such a curved part of your body. All right, and so we're going to get to it with our own hand there. So I'm pushing on there. There's a muscle that runs from the shoulder blade up to the back of the head there. And so we're kind of getting that part as it comes off the shoulder blade a little bit. So we kind of come right into this spot here, if you could see it. Digging in there. Oh boy, that doesn't feel wonderful while you're doing it, actually. Feels like a decent amount of tension there. But when you let up, it is magical. All right. So usually, 10, 20 seconds maybe of pressure in some of these spots. I'm going to move again. Oh, I got to get this one. Before we change, I got to get one more spot here. So right at that edge, that side edge of the shoulder blade as it's coming in there, that part of the muscle. Oh, just so gets right into there. All right, so push it again here, right on top. Oh. So when you're doing massage and getting a extra water in you for the day is actually a good deal too. Alright, I'm going to move the hand down, out to the side a little bit and down to get as it comes off the shoulder blade. That muscle there. Oh boy, it feels good. Reaching back a little more, I'm going to come down to where it comes off that other edge of the shoulder blade back over in here. Just a little bit more, get a spot in there. It's not very long, you know, but oh, so good. Just that alone could be huge. If you're at your desk for a while, that could be a massively helpful one. So we're gonna do the upper back on the ball, all right? So we're gonna lay back and get this. Let's start a little bit high, upper back. So just below where we were getting. You may even get some of those spots with the ball here. And I'm rolling away from that. I've got most of my weight is on the ground, not on the ball. And I'm leaning just some of my body weight into the ball, into these areas, all right? I'm gonna roll a little bit lower. Oh yeah, between the shoulder blade and the spine there. That spot, oh, there it is. Oh, so I can feel it actually come out to the arm a little bit more as I'm doing that, the tension of that area. Oh yeah. Oh, I could tell I need it. Ah, rolling around, shifting around the shoulder blade is good. Right on the shoulder blade doesn't do much because it's mostly just a bone there. All right, so let's go to the other side. All right, I'll try the facing away here and see if that helps at all too. All right, so going underneath there and shifting a little bit. Oh, there it is. Oh, the stinger. All right, so this is a muscle that gets aggravated on some people, and oh man, it doesn't let up for a while. All right, so they go, I mean, like days sometimes when you get this one fired up. So this is nice. Oh yeah, shift a little bit. It kind of feels like you're break dancing on the ball just a little bit. You're just shifting your body, doing a little wave across the ball to get your body into different places on there. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Oh yeah. So I'm on the edge of the shoulder blade right now, between the shoulder blade and the spine, you know, working on that spot right in there. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, so good. Could do that for a little bit longer there too. All right, we're gonna do the armpits next. All right, so we're going just below the armpit, really. All right, into the lat right in here. All right, down the side of that arm there. All right, so it's right in here. There's this muscle that comes down the side. That's what we're trying to get after on this one. All right, and you can roll and shift, kind of turn forward, turn back a little bit. The farther you roll down, the more you're going to roll back. And again, only put as much pressure on that ball as you can handle, so you can lean away from it, you know, if you need to decrease some of that pressure. I'm going to roll down a little bit more. Oh, the farther you roll down, the more you should let that ball go towards the back, because that muscle wraps towards the back side of our body as we're doing that. So you want to try to follow that muscle a little bit. So as the farther down you go, the more backwards you let that ball go. Oh yeah. Oh, so good. Sometimes when I'm making these videos, I'm like, why am I not doing this more often for myself? Oh, I should do this, yeah. All right, and then on that muscle, just below the shoulder there. Oh yeah, right into that. There's a muscle that's kind of like the back border of the armpit. That's the lats. All right. Oh yeah. So really, you're just searching a little bit for some of those tender spots. All right. You search as you roll, you shift, you move. When you find one, that's when you pause for a moment. All right. At least 5-10 seconds, if not, maybe a little bit longer. But you can kind of feel it, that it changes in intensity. It starts off when you first get to one of those spots, it's like, oh, you want to get off of it right away. But try to stay into that a little bit. Oh yeah. All right. So done with that one. Now we're going to do the chest. So we're going to stand up with the ball here. You can do this like against the wall, but you're not going to be able to see me do that. So I'm going to do palm open on the chest. We're not going to lower chest, all right? And there's the muscles across up in here, and those are the ones that are the biggest challenge there. All right, and so coming off through that, where that collarbone is, kind of just below that collarbone is some of the areas that you're aiming for. So you're gonna roll the ball around on there. You can do a little more active on this. The muscle that runs right up and through there, that's part of the pectoralis major. And you may even be able to get to the pectoralis minor a tiny bit as you're doing some of this. So we're doing just one side right now. Oh, you find a spot, just hang in there, kind of pressing that ball into your chest a little bit as you're doing this. Now palm is open there, pressing that ball into there. And that's where the real tricky spot is as that muscle is coming into the insertion point there. All right. So we'll try the other side. Oh, yeah. Now, depending on how sore you are, these can be even more reactive. So if you've just done a really hard workout, these muscles can be even more. Woo! All right. Don't try to bludgeon them, with this work, but you're getting just a little bit uncomfortable, in there. If you were sitting on something like this, you'd go, I'm going to get up. This is not cool. Like a stone in your shoe or something, it's not your favorite. I start rolling on there a little bit, pausing if you find a tender spot. And we're just below the shoulder, the collarbone there. All right, running up towards the shoulder there. That's the area we're looking for. Oh, yeah. Rolling in through there. When you find a spot, sometimes you can shake it on a spot. Sometimes you can even move the limb. All right, there's a whole massage modality called ART that they do some motion with it. All right, so there's chest. Now we're going to do lower back. All right, so we're going to go back to the floor because that's easier for things behind you. All right, for a lot of these things, the floor is going to be the best because we get to relax a little bit more too. So I'm going for the strap up and down the back a little bit. So there's those muscles, the back strap muscles there. All right, and so just kind of getting on there just a little bit. Don't kill it, but I'm laying on my hips and my shoulders are down, and then I'm leaning into this just a little bit, and I'm gonna shift and kind of roll that ball slowly down. If I find a tender spot, I'll pause. Oh, there's a good spot there. Nice. And then roll again. Oh yeah, lower back for me is a spot. I ruptured a disc in my lower back, so it's actually pretty good. The more flexibility I maintain, the more I take care of myself, the less pain I get from it. All right, let's try the other side. Oh, I'll spin around. You got a better shot of seeing what I'm doing. All right, so again, here, off to the side. So not directly in the middle. That's just the spine. That's just if you can feel the ridges of the bones there, just off the side of that is where that muscle is. All right, start up a little bit high there because you can get right where the lats come in actually. The lats come in into that lower back fascia there. Fascia is just connective tissue. So you can get that and then roll it down a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh man, this is good stuff. Ooh. Digging into that. Oh, find some spots. You can roll towards the spine a little bit and away from the spine a little bit to try to find that spot, and you're rolling down the spine as you're doing that. All right, that's good for that one, even though you probably want to do it longer. All right, we're gonna do the glutes next, and so we're gonna kind of sit on the ball. All right, but we're aiming. You're gonna prop yourself up a little bit because there's probably gonna be too much pressure just to actually just drop your body weight on there. So I'm using this leg, really both legs a little bit, but try not to use the leg you're rolling on too much. And I'm shifting around on there. All right, you can kind of tip away and then just slowly tip towards. So if that's too much for your arms to hold yourself up, you can kind of lean in towards it. So I'm kind of going right off the tailbone's right here. It's got like a little triangle there. Right off of there is where the glute is, and that right in that initial spot is the best spot to be working on for that. So you got the glute, and you've got some of the peroneals in there. They're the lateral rotators. Not the peroneals. The piriformis is in there, as well as the lateral rotators. Peroneals come later. And the leg. Oh, so I got one side. Let's try the other side. All right. It's going up on there. Butt cheek. So right where the butt cheek is coming into the tailbone. That's where it does, originate, on, part of the tailbone there. Tailbone and hip. Well, it runs all around actually, yeah. The hip, the blade of the hip, and it runs all the way down into the leg bone there. Important muscle. Oh, try to relax your butt as you're doing this, all right? A lot of these muscles are going to try to tense up, and that goes against what we're trying to do. So you try to relax the particular muscle that you're using. You may have to use some tension in some other muscles in order to move yourself around, but try to relax that one muscle there. So hip socket, somewhere between hip socket and tailbone is where the best stuff is. Right in there. All right. IT bands. These are tender. These are tender right in here. All right. So I'm going to just lay all the way down, tip back a little bit, put this under the side of your leg, and then start leaning towards it and go, oh. Now you can, if you want to, you can prop up and lift up a little bit here. All right, but if that's too much to try to hold your body weight up, just do it where you're laying down and just tipping and leaning in towards it. So you got it underneath that leg, and you're tipping into it there. You can stack the leg on top of the other one. Oh, right down the side of the leg is what you're going for there, right? Kind of working from up by the hip to down to the knee there. All right. Oh. A lot of knee pain, back pain comes from tightness in this area, because usually this area gets tight when we sit a lot. All right. And sitting, and sometimes some studies has been linked to being worse than smoking. Yeah, so watch out for that. All right, so let's try the other IT band here. So again, you could tip back and then tip forward. Sometimes with some people, I'll just have them tip back and tip forward, just camp out on a spot for a moment. All right, so that way it's not too taxing on the rest of the body. All right, and then you shift the ball again, have them tip into it until it feels tender, like it feels like a knuckle jamming into there. All right, and then you go up by the hip a little bit. Oh, yeah. You don't have to be on the hip, so it's just below the hip, and it's towards the front of the leg. Oh yeah, there was one. There's a spot. All right, so some of these you could spend more time on, but in the interest of having, a really good total body massage with not too much time spent, we're moving on between these fairly quickly, so you at least get a little tension in each muscle. All right, so we're doing the quad next. So similar to the IT band, except we're going to be kind of a little more like an army crawl position, and we're laying on the front of that ball. We'll try to get the hip flexor a little bit, which is the one that comes right where the hip or leg bends. You're trying to get the ball right into there. Sometimes the ball is just a little bit too small to dig in there, but I think I got it. Oh yeah. Oh, magic. It's magic, I tell you. I'm gonna roll down towards the knee. And the quad's a big area though, so roll side to side a little bit and see if you can find anything tender. Usually the most tender spot will be near the IT band. All right, so as you get towards that outside of the leg. All right, the outside of the leg tends to be more tender, but the inside can be too, so search it out a little bit. All right, let's try the other leg. All right, come back in here, lay on that ball. Sometimes it feels like you're trying to hatch this sucker. So again, I don't know if you can see it very well, because it's kind of mashed into the floor a little bit. All right, but I'm laying into it, turning to that side a little to get my hip flexor. Oh, we could really do a minute on each of the hip flexors and then do the quad separate, but we kind of got hip flexor quad combined for this. Ah, yes. Rolling down towards the knee as I'm doing this. Slowly working my way down. And again, you can move your body or you can move the ball sometimes. So sometimes just move the ball down. Right? And you can be resting on the ground. So my hips can be on the ground if I need to. I don't have to have my hips off the ground in order to get some of this work. Right? Now is where the chair comes in. So we're gonna do a little bit of a hamstring, because it's tough to do, because a lot of times the hamstring is too tight to allow for much stretch to happen on the ground. So we're gonna take the ball, we're gonna place it underneath the leg there. Let's go back in the chair. I'm gonna put it toward the front edge of the chair. And the hamstring is the muscles on the back side of the leg. There's some that come off of one side of the leg, and then some come off the other. So when you're doing closer to the knee, you're going to do more to the sides as you do that. So you can feel the tendons. If you feel the back of your knee, you can feel 2 tendon sets, and there's like a gap in the middle on the back of the knee. There's like this little hole, like an armpit of the knee, and so those tendon sets are parts of those muscles there. You go on the inside edge there, and you can, if you go farther in here, so you go up more by your hip there, you can get the adductors a little bit. So I'm just inside of here, if you can see, just inside the leg there, and you can roll on that a little bit there too. Oh, again, another one we could spend a little more time on, but just hitting them a little bit is helpful. So let's try their side here. All right, I'm gonna start off on the high ones there. Oh yeah. So you got the upper hamstring and lower hamstring. So upper hamstring goes right by your sit bone, that bone that you sit on there. And that's where those hamstrings attach. So you can kind of aim for that spot just a little bit. And if you go on the inside edge again, so I'm inside here, it's more of the adductors, the groin, just a little bit that you're getting. So when you're working on, getting deeper in the squats, you feel a lot of tension and tightness. When you try to get lower in the squats, it can be the hamstring and the adductors there. So doing a little bit of release in those muscles can be helpful. Go down, get these ones by the knee a little bit too. Oh yeah, go a little farther out to the front there. I mean, you probably can't see what I'm doing from that angle that much, but hopefully you got the idea. We're gonna do the calf next. All right, so we can actually ditch the chair here. We don't need it anymore there. And we got the calf coming. So we're on the ground, and right underneath there, probably one of the easiest ones to see is you're aiming just underneath the calf muscle, and you got stuff up in here that may be a tender up towards the knee, and you got side to side a little bit, some of that work in there. But then as you come down here, right about mid calf there is where the muscle goes from being more muscular into being more tendon-like, and that's where a lot of the tension resides. All right, when that tendon is not very flexible, that part of the muscle is more aggravated. So we're on the inside edge of it, the outside edge of it. Tight area for many of us is the calves, all right? So a lovely, lovely thing to do. Treating yourself to a little self-care here, all right? So I'm gonna switch legs. I don't know if I can get one leg out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. All right. Try to relax the foot as you're doing that. Sometimes you'll see people flexing that. I'm not really getting a stretch going. I'm not getting the massage working there. If you ever get a massage, sometimes they'll tell you to relax. Sometimes they'll tell you to relax many times because you keep tightening up. And so I will say the same to you, is try to relax the particular muscle that you're working on, even though it feels contrary, because it's uncomfortable when that digs in, especially when you find a spot like right here is a tender spot. So I'm going to try to relax that as I dig in. So on some of these times I am putting a little bit of down pressure. I'm actively pushing into that while relaxing, the calf there. Oh, get the outside edge a little bit. And we're not going to go super far on the outside edge because that's the next one here. Right now, the peroneals. It's the group of muscles down the side, the outside of the leg there. And so again, tight muscle for many. All right, so you're laying on your side and you're kind of rolling down in there. What you'll find is a spot right up by the knee, not right by the knee, but just down a little bit, where that muscle starts to come out, starts to show itself. That's where a tender spot is. And so you can roll into there. There's actually several muscles that make up this group here. So you can kind of roll around and search for it. Roll around. Sometimes some of these smaller muscles in these areas, I kind of almost like to actively roll across them. It does feel kind of nice there, but if you do find a tender spot, just camp out for a moment. Oh, yes. Oh, come down a little more. Oh boy, oh boy. It's a little wobbly in here. You can hold it still if you need to. Try to help it out. All right. Switch sides. You start off closer to the knee as you're doing this. Oh, yes. Hopefully it feels good to you, you know, but obviously sometimes as a trainer people think I have a sick version of good. And you know, it's uncomfortable, but you can feel the muscle release a little bit, and when you're done there's just less tension in you. All right, and so that feels good. All right. Sometimes it feels like, why am I doing this? This is just hurting. But in a lot of ways, it's kind of overwhelming that muscle. It's pushing on that, and so it goes, oh, fine, I give up, and it lets up the tension. So it can only handle so much of its tension, but then you put more tension in there, it goes, oh, fine, I'm done. All right, bottom of the foot is next here. All right, so you got the ball right underneath the bottom of the foot, going from the ball of the foot towards the heel into the arch. Oh yeah, there's a good spot. Very nice. So you can see me rolling into that arch a little bit there. Oh, stepping on that ball just a little bit. We have to do some of this stuff because the world around us is too soft and fluffy sometimes. You know, you realize this when you walk barefoot outside and the ground's all lumpy and jams into your arch and rams in your foot. It's like, this is uncomfortable. But we're designed to be able to handle some of that, and so when we don't get that massage from walking across the regular bumpy ground, is that we may have to add it in. All right, because these tissues get tighter and tighter and more brittle, and then you get that plantar fasciitis stuff, which is no good. All right, so calf tightness is a big one, but this can be helpful too. Just releasing the tension in the arch of the foot can be helpful as well. Of the two, I think calf tightness is bigger. So the little tennis ball work that we just did on the calf there is really, really helpful. Plus some really good stretches. Oh yes, yes. All of this stuff as we release tension in the muscles, they're no longer pulling on the bones as hard, and the muscles cross joints. And so if they're pulling on the bones really hard, they're packing the joints harder. All right, so your joints have more pressure on them. So if you're overweight and your muscles are tight, you've got tons of pressure in those joints. They are not going to last you quite as long. All right, and so if we can do something about one or both of those situations, it's a good thing. All right, so next up is we're going to do a little relaxation. All right, so we're going to hit the floor here. We're done with our tennis ball. All right, we're going to let that sink in. So after a good massage, you know, that moment when they're done is a nice moment. All right, so give me 5 minutes. All right, give me 5 minutes where you actually just chill out for a second. All right, connect to your breathing. Nice and slow breathing. Try to breathe through your nose more. I'm not going to be able to do that and talk as well, so you can do it more. Really drag the breath out. Inhale fully. Fill up the lungs all the way, and then exhale. And exhale fully. Empty the lungs, plus a little bit extra. A little bit smaller than you're used to. Breathing big, slow breaths. Now we're going to take a moment, we're going to check in with the body a little bit. We're going to do so with a little progressive relaxation. So I want you to take your right arm, make a fist. Flex that arm, flex the bicep, tricep. Take a deep breath in. Good strong fist going. And as you exhale, when you relax the fist, relax the arm. And as you exhale again, relax more. Don't add more tension, just try to relax it more. So we're focusing just on right arm. Sometimes when you, if you just say relax, it's tough to do. If you relax a specific spot, you can figure it out a little bit better. So you're relaxing that right arm, the wrist, the fingers, into the forearm, relaxing around the shoulder. Let's try left arm. Make the fist, flex it. Inhale. Exhale. Release the tension in the arm, around the shoulder, around the elbow, around the wrist and forearm. Each breath, try to relax that left arm more and more. Like it's just dropping into the ground. Let's go for right leg. Pull the toes back towards you as you do this. Alright, so flex the toes back towards you. Make some muscles there. Inhale. Flex the quad. Flex the glute a little bit if you can. And then relax as you exhale. Try your left leg. Pull those toes back so you don't get a calf cramp while you're doing this. So flex those toes back towards you. Flex the quad, flex the glute. Flex that leg good and strong, lots of tension. Inhale. And exhale. Release that tension. In the knee and the ankle. Around the hip. Let's try the face, head, and neck. Add some tension around there. Inhale. And exhale your forehead, around your eyes, the back of your neck, your jaw, your cheeks. Inhale. Exhale. Nice and slow breathing. The whole body. Keep searching for extra tension. Inhale, and then as you exhale, relax that area more. The shoulders, the hips, the back, the face. I'm going to leave you to it. I'm going to leave a little bit of gap at the end of the video here if you need to pause for a moment there. I hope you enjoyed your massage. Have fun. Be safe.